Let's do this. All right, guys, I am back. I know it's been a while, right? You guys just saw me probably about 6 minutes ago. Well, I'm bringing a special guest in. Now, I just got home from St. Louis Pride, and today, well, it's the official last day of Pride Month. And whom better to bring on my channel than the executive of directors, the Missouri chapter, right? Missouri, I think it's Missouri. Chris Barrett, and he is from Gays Against Groomers. Hello, sir.
Hey, Jen. Yeah, I am co-director of chapters. So I'm in charge of all of our chapters, along with another wonderful person named Meg Martinez. So we kind of lead all of the chapters in the United States. And then, of course, I am the leader of our chapter here in the state of Missouri. So, yeah,
Mm.
it's so good to be with you. Oh my gosh.
Well, again, right? But we have to do it virtually this time. It was so cool hanging out with you for Pride.
Right. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, the fact that we could actually get together and meet each other and hang out and have some fun and show you around my crazy state, as flawed as it may be.
Well, it's okay. It's fine. I had a really good time. Do you remember this? Let me show you. It's my megaphone is bigger than your megaphone. Let please explain to everybody what happened in this guy. This is very purple. It's very and Quifa. I'm thinking, how did this go down, Chris?
Yeah, we like to call him Trantiva.
Tranquil.
Um, yeah. So I was giving a speech and to our audience that was there. And anyway, he kept his stupid little megaphone going. And anyway, after I was done with my speech, I just got kind of tired of him and his stupid little. I mean, it really wasn't even that loud, but because it was small and probably just like, you know.
That little megaphone energy.
Yeah, he had little megaphone energy. So I took mine, put it on siren mode, and I just stuck it in his face.
I love this
And I
feature.
sat there for about 5 minutes and I was like, I can do this all day, dude. And anyway, finally he backed down. But yeah, a lot of people took pictures of that.
That's absolutely amazing. I love it. You made it like national or the Midwest was buzzing with this picture and all of the articles that came out, which, the ones that we got to read together were pretty much truthful and telling everybody what had happened, right? And
Right.
which was really cool that it was for a change to see the media not slandering you guys and telling the true story, of what happened here. And all these guys are doing is saying leave kids alone, stop targeting kids. And then you guys are often met with opposition. what i don't get what I don't understand, Chris, right? I don't understand how, but I keep hearing this from the radicalized left, right? That you guys everyone in Gays Against Groomers is straight. You are just playing the part of being gay. You're not gay at all. You're right wing extremist. You're fascist. I think you guys were called fascists and Nazis
Mhm.
during this. And yeah, you're completely faking being gay. Please,
Yeah,
please.
well, so I'm a gay Jew, and so it's funny that I'm called a right wing fascist. I mean, personally, I do maybe lean a little bit to the right, but I consider myself kind of moderate. Um, I actually agree with some of my friends on the left when we talk about things. So I'm certainly not extreme, but the fact that we dare to go up against these people the Trantifa, as I like as we call them. Um, they won't have it. So we are definitely fascists, Nazis, far right extremists. If you go to the Wikipedia entry for Gays Against Screamers, it's
Let's do
hilarious.
it.
Yeah. Oh, please do. It's hilarious.
All right, we're gonna pull it
Um,
up. We're gonna pull it up live because like I can't even I can't like how is this even how is this even how do they do this? All right, we're at Wikipedia. Let's look up your organization.
oh yes.
All right. American far right anti LGBT organization known for campaigning against gender affirming care for minors. The only thing that they got correct was you are an organization known to campaign against gender affirming care for minors. That's the only thing that they got right in here.
That's true. And you know, the funny thing about it is, Jen, is that we are absolutely against the gender affirming care for minors. Now in Missouri, we did have a law pass that does ban it for kids. What I thought was really interesting about the St. Louis protest is that we showed up in order to protest the presence of kids at Pride. That's what we showed up to protest.
Right.
But instead, we were met with trans rights activists.
Yeah, they're
We
the
weren't even
worst.
we weren't even there to even talk about trans issues. But that's
No.
who met us. And that's really emblematic of exactly what's going on right now is that it's not the LGB, it's the TQIA plus that is
Yes.
causing these problems. And unfortunately, there are some in the LGB who support it because they kind of feel like they have to for whatever reason. But there's this weird forced teaming that went on at some point in time. God knows, no one asked me for my permission to be lumped in with the TQIA plus. But you know, we were by the left. I mean, honestly, that's what it was. So.
Right. I mean, this is ridiculous. It's absolutely such bull crap. I even included the link with you guys in the comment section that you can even read this. And it's so crazy that it is the account described itself as a coalition of gays against the sexualization and indoctrination of children. That is what your organization is. And it slanders and defames and oh, two alleged members of GAG taunted and harassed Gay City Council Eric Butcher at his office and then at his home. They vandalized his office and later broke in. And then they also called you the Proud Boys. They called you guys the Proud Boys at St. Louis Pride.
Yes, they
Um,
did.
I'm like, but it's completely two different organizations, and there is nothing wrong with the Proud Boys. The Proud Boys are a patriotic organization, and it include they're labeled white supremacists. The leader is Cuban, and he was just sentenced to federal prison. Did you know that?
I did not know that he was sentenced to federal prison, but I am aware of the leader. You know, the Proud Boys. I certainly take no real issue with them. I mean, it is kind of a fine line to walk if you were to work with them. I mean, I certainly know that they support great organizations like Moms for Liberty, Mom and
Yeah.
Dad Army, that sort of thing. They do want to support Gays Against Groomers. I think we've taken a little bit of a hands off approach to them,
Hmm.
but you know the simple fact is that ultimately when it gets down to it, what we're interested in is protecting kids, our own kids, our nieces and nephews, you know, and that's that's what we're interested in. We're not really interested in all the politics of it all. I mean, of course I have my own political opinions,
Hmm.
but you know, we that's all we want. That's all we want, is
Right.
just to protect kids from the insanity that's going on, that we have seen, that has somehow or other spun out of our community, even though I don't feel that we're really responsible for it exactly, because like I said, no one asked my permission for all of this shit.
Right. And that's why. Okay, so when I first got to St. Louis, you guys had already protested, and I couldn't come to the protest itself, and I'm grateful that I didn't, because then the next day Rocky and I were able to kind of go incognito, because you were all over the internet by that evening, when I already landed in St. Louis and met up with everybody at the hotel. you know you were everywhere on the news already. So that's how quick the media firestorm happens. It's like boom, boom, boom. And so you guys got to fill me in there. And I'm grateful that I wasn't seen, because, I'm pretty, you're going to recognize me with all my tattoos, and no matter what I wear, my tattoos at 97-degree weather, you can't really hide your tattoos, and I'm not about to put dermablend all over my body. So by the time I got there, you guys, like literally, this had already went down, and they were not allowed in to Pride, right? They
That's
went in.
correct.
You guys tell me about well, I already know the story, but they don't. What happened with the Jack Daniels incident too? Tell them about
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah. So after the protest was done, and like I said, we were there to protest just kids being in Pride, but it was all these trans activists that were against us. Excuse me.
Oh wait, let me do this really quick. Sydney I wanted to do this comment real quick before you go on to your story. Um, Chris is right. The transmission people jumped in because they wanted to go after kids during the event. I watched your live. How was Lemonade? Lemonade was amazing. It was amazing. Rocky had gotten me that. So go ahead, Chris. Now you can tell them. I'm sorry, I had that comment up there forever. Go ahead.
Oh no, you're good. So anyway, after the protest was done, we went. We sent some people into the Pride event. It was already clear that it was probably not a great idea for me to try to go in there, um, because that megaphone incident that you showed, it's like there are like all sorts of TV cameras and reporters who were snapping pictures. It's just like,
Yeah.
okay, Chris probably shouldn't be there. So I stayed back. But however, Scott Nugent, who, by the way, is an amazing person and a good friend of mine. And anyway, he took several of the members from Gays Against Groomers down to Pride to see if they could get in. Pride would not let them in. So the word had already spread. We weren't even right at the entrance. So somebody tipped them off that we were there, and they would not let us in. We were gay, lesbian, trans people
Yep.
trying to get into Pride. We weren't welcome because we're not the right kind of gay, lesbian, and trans people. We're the ones who want to protect children from this kind of stuff, and they would not have it. They would not have us. And then on top of that, one of the weird trans activists, who was a trans person themselves, came at some of our members with a broken glass Jack Daniels bottle, and
The bottleneck.
right, and showed it to them. And then uh, she, because she was trying to pass as a man, but it was very obvious that it was a woman.
Mm-hmm.
She then shoved it in her pocket, said to our members, well, if you're good people, then you won't worry about the fact that I have this in my pocket, you know.
Good
And
people. Good people. You have a deadly weapon in your pocket.
right.
No, you are not good people
Yeah,
yourself.
no. So, but we were supposedly the bad people, because we're just sitting there trying to say, it's not appropriate for kids to be at a Pride event, certainly at least as it exists right now. I mean, we've
Mhm.
seen in New York and Seattle, and obviously in St. Louis, because you went undercover there too. And you saw what was going on, and none of that stuff is appropriate for kids.
Not to mention, it was 97 degrees and there were babies, infants, kids everywhere. No, that is not for children. Adults, yes, by all means. But I think it's sad to say that you guys were denied entry because you're not the right type of gays, lesbians, or trans people, because you speak out against exposing children to any of this. And so you're not allowed in. So if what that's no, not only is that you were met with discrimination and you were not allowed to be let into this event based off of your beliefs against. Stop the indoctrination of children. Stop including children in your drag shows. Stop with the gender affirming care bull crap. Even trans people on our side here with the children were denied access to St. Louis Pride. You guys were targets. And then the trans activists that had the Jack Daniels bottleneck, now they were all standing at the entrance. And even Gag was saying this person has a deadly weapon in her pocket. And do you know that the Pride event staff did not search this person?
Nope.
Let them right into Pride with a deadly weapon in her pocket. I think everybody needs to know that one.
Yeah, they didn't care. They did not care. I don't know if you have the video that Scott posted.
On Twitter, I think he posted it on his Twitter.
Yeah,
pull it up.
but yeah, that person was allowed in, but we weren't allowed in because of the message that we had. So a person with a deadly weapon was allowed in. That was totally fine. But us gays, lesbians, and trans people that are against all of this sort of BS. Totally different story.
Let's see. I love that. Look at this. Scott. What a great picture. I gotta find it. Scott tweets a lot. I give it to him, There's Scott. Leave our kids alone. Look at lesbian trans man speaks out against trans surgeries for minors. Leave our kids alone. Yeah, absolutely. I gotta catch up. Scott is a master tweeter. Look at there's Chris.
Oh my God.
There's Jamie. There's Sasha. There's Mickey. There's Rocky right there. I met her. She starts with a C. What's her name?
Chelsea.
Chelsea. Yeah. That's right, Chelsea. I met Chelsea. Oh, this is Christina, Hug for Life. I know her. I'm straight and loud. How may I be of service? Great. That's awesome. Let me like that one. Give it 100 likes. Where is the video? I gotta find the video.
Yeah, I thought Scott had it.
Yeah, we've seen all kinds of children at the Pride event. It was, like I said, 97 degrees outside. There's Scott had some car troubles here. California, the rebellion is here. There's Scott and Jamie. What a great picture. She's so pretty.
Isn't she though?
Yeah. This is what Scott Nugent looked like before when he was Kelly. And now that's Scott will be joining me on July 6th, you guys. I can't wait for that. I'm trying to find it, but
well, I mean the main thing is that we weren't allowed in, and they had a huge issue with us, and
ridiculous.
I don't know, maybe maybe you're getting close to it.
Yeah, there's me and Scott right here. Is this
That's it? That's the video.
Yeah, we can't get into Pride. Rocky, are you a gay man?
I am a gay. Yes, of course. I want to celebrate.
You're gay?
Apparently, yeah.
And you want to go to Pride?
Yes, I do.
We can't go to Pride.
Can't go to Pride.
Hey, look at the children right over there. Hi. Can you get into Pride?
No, they told me I wasn't bisexual, guys. They told me I'm not bisexual.
And this guy's not gay enough.
I'm not gay enough.
Neither am I. Hey. We can't get into Pride.
Nope. Pride is acceptance for everyone unless you're us.
That's right there. Mickey said it best. Pride is acceptable unless you're us. You can come to Pride. I'm going to retweet that, you guys, just so you guys can see it. I think to call them extremists when you're just there to protect children, and I can't believe it. Here it is.
Are you a lesbian?
I'm a lesbian. I'm a
Mickey's definitely a lesbian.
lesbian. They're not
Can you
letting
go
us
into
in.
Pride?
No.
Yeah. So that is what happened with Pride. Now, the day after the protest, Rocky and I went incognito, and we're like, Chris, you might, because you were going to come with, but then we all collectively were like, no, Chris, you're everywhere. You're on the news. You're in every freaking news article from here to there. We can't have you coming, so Chris had kind of stayed back, and then Scott had to be somewhere. So Scott and everybody had to go, but Rocky and I went incognito and we got in. We saw kids immediately. Bud Light sponsored this event. Just so you know, McDonald's sponsored it. There were Bayer pharmaceutical companies. The what is that one organization, the World Health Organization or something like that, where they
Who? Yeah. World
yeah
Health Organization. Yeah.
yeah, they sponsored this event as well. And again, children were everywhere. And there were little girls that were probably 11, 12 years old holding hands and kissing. There were topless people in the parade. There were plenty of outfits of naked women with just mesh on. You could see areolas, you could see nips, you could see everything. I seen so much ass, and I'm going, who I'm s- I I don't yeah, my kid's not coming here. And so we found drag queens, the MCs. And when this drag queen said, I am 63 years old, I've been doing Pride for 30 years, I said, so what's changed from now until that? Because I didn't want to be like so blatantly like obvious. And he goes, well, the diversity has changed. And I says, yeah, but what about children? And he goes, oh, yeah, no, there was no children in Pride because it was like a big, like, it was like hedonism, only like not like to like not very badly, but like just regular Pride events where you're going to see dicks, you're going to see boobs, you're going to see people making out, you're going to see dildos, you're going to see straps, you're going to see uh all sorts of stuff. And even this drag queen himself said, oh, there was a lot of cocaine. And I was like, I know, y'all crazy. So no place for children. And
No.
yeah, it again in 97 degrees outside. I luckily had that thing around my neck, that $250 contraption that kept me 30 degrees cooler than everybody else. I was like still dying. So, and poor Rocky, it was so hot, and it was just so many children there. And I just don't understand why you wouldn't just leave them at home. This is centered around sexuality. This is not, what do you say, Chris, when somebody says, well, what's the difference between bringing your kid to a drag show or Pride when you take your kid to the beach? What do you say about that?
Well, I mean, I guess if you're taking your kid to a nude beach, that's probably inappropriate. But I mean, if you're taking your kid to just a regular beach, I don't understand what the difference is, or why that would even be an issue with someone. I mean, yes, men don't wear shirts when they go to the beach. Women wear bikinis, that sort of thing. But I mean that's a socially acceptable norm that we just have.
It's not centered around sexuality, right?
Exactly. I mean, it's just a thing that we do. But Pride has a much different history. I mean, granted, the history of Pride, and the thing that people should know, is that it was ultimately an effort to try to get equal rights for gays and lesbians in this country. That's what it was. yes, it could be kind of extreme, and there would be, like you said, a lot of sexuality and stuff like that expressed, but it was just adult oriented. That there was no effort to include kids into our fight. That's not what we wanted. I mean, it would be like saying, the Republicans or the Democrats need to recruit kids into their fight. Well, of course they wouldn't do that. It's the same thing. I mean, gay people didn't recruit kids back then into their fight. I mean, we had our crazy pride events that, sometimes were over the top and weird and all
Fun.
that. But that's it. It was fun. But it was for adults. That's the thing. It was for adults. Now, I will say, at this point in time, I kind of wonder what the purpose of pride actually is. Because gay people, we have our rights. We can marry. We can't be fired from our jobs for being gay. We can't be, thrown in jail because we committed sodomy or whatever the case may be. And those things have all gone away. So I'm not even sure what the purpose of it is anymore. And at least from a gay perspective, I'm not sure what it is. But I'll tell you what the purpose of it is, as far as my opinion is concerned. It's to push the trans, queer, intersex, asexual, plus two-spirit, whatever agenda. That's what it is. And that's exactly what it's become.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I would encourage all gay people to disavow pride. Don't go to it. In fact, if we want to do something, let's come up with an alternative to it. It's time to leave it alone because it doesn't represent us anymore at all. And I'm sad to see gay people who do go along with this and actually support it, because there are some who do. I do think they're in the minority, but but there's a lot of gay people who are also afraid to speak out against this. And I have found this in my personal life. I've talked to several gay, bisexual people, and they agree with me, but they're afraid to speak out on it because they're afraid of losing friends. They're afraid of possibly losing jobs. It's almost like it's bringing back everything that the gay community fought against. And these people are causing us to basically go back into the closet again.
Oh, absolutely. What sucks here is too, you know, to involve the whole trans activists and the, like you said, the 2A pluses and all of this, that, and the other, you're not woke enough. If you speak out against it, you'll be called the bigot. And when people are cancel culture vultures like that, that is when people lose their jobs. And like you said, yeah, now we have to go back into the closet. Thank you very much. What I see it as, they are marketing the hell out of gay pride. And so the corporations are all doing it. And so it has been corporatized, it has been monetized. So it has been a money making machine. That is what now gay pride is. And it's get as many people on board as humanly possible by any means necessary. Because the more gay people, the more pride shit we can sell you. To see those kids, those young kids with gay pride flags and the trans flag, mostly wearing the new pride flag and the trans flag as a outfit. I'm going, oh yeah, you just gave somebody 15 to 20 to $30 for that flag. So this is I saw all kinds of people selling all kinds of stuff at gay pride, jewelry, face paints, all kinds of stuff. And it's like, this is a money making machine. This is what pride has become. It's not become fighting for anybody's rights, because you guys have rights.
Well, and it's even beyond pride, really, Jen. The funny thing is, once we got all the rights that we wanted, what happened is these gay rights organizations needed to find a new reason to exist. And that's what separates them from Gays Against Groomers. Our hope is to not need to exist. So once we accomplish our mission, we'll stop existing.
Right.
They're not that way. That's not how they are. So gay people accomplished their rights. They had millions of dollars, probably billions of dollars. Bloody blackjack. Yeah, you got it going. They had billions of dollars coming in to these organizations spread around the country, and what they really wanted was to continue that on.
Absolutely.
And they found a new thing, and what they found was the whole gender theory thing, and the push for gender, and that's what they got behind. The whole notion of gender theory and queer theory started in the 80s and really took off in academia in the 80s and 90s, and they're extremely homophobic theories, academic theories. And but now they're being taught in colleges, and so we have teachers and stuff that are being brainwashed by this crap. And what's really interesting about it is that, especially queer theory, you would think queer, oh, okay, that must be in favor of gay people. Oh Lord, no, it's not. Queer theory, basically, those folks that pushed that stuff didn't like the fact that the gay community was looking to assimilate into the larger community. We were looking to get married, have kids, do those sorts of things. That made us normal members of society. They didn't like that. They were looking for new revolutionaries. And because because the gay community wasn't looking to become their little pawns as new revolutionaries, they hated us. And those are the people that have taken over this stuff. Those are the people who are running things right now. And unfortunately, like I said, some gay people have bought into it. That's bad. But they are absolutely homophobic. They are absolutely against actual gays and lesbians.
Yeah, they're
You know?
globalists. The globalists, like George Soros, they push for division. They push to, I believe, confuse everybody, to divide everybody, because we have the trans activists going, would you rather have an alive daughter than a dead son? And states are banning gender affirming care for a reason, because it is dangerous. Now, again, if you want to transition, go listen to like Buck Angel, Blair White, Scott Nugent, and listen to the complications, Jazz Jennings. Listen to these complications and really go to somebody if they are trying to like let you know, hey, listen, these are all of the complications to this. Not, oh, are you are you transgendered? Well, let me give you some cross-sex hormones immediately. Run, 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 run. Because I remember, in order to transition to even be a candidate for a sex change operation, you had to live your life as a woman for years, like for male to female. You had to live like that for years and get so many doctors to sign off on it and have so many hours of therapy and be on these cross sex hormones for years before. And now I think Big Pharma has gotten its hand in the cookie jar and says, well, gender affirming care, it doesn't just stop after a month or 3. That is a lifelong patient that those pharmaceutical companies and those doctors getting those kickbacks are withstanding to lose if they don't push the gender ideologies, the gender affirming care theory. You do agree?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I'd agree. And I'll tell you what, Jen, here's the thing. Ultimately, of course, I don't like how this makes the gay community look, but my real concern is with kids, and that's my major concern. So yeah, I mean, I am fighting to try to reclaim the gay community from this insanity, but my real concern is for kids. I've got nieces and nephews. My husband has nieces and nephews, and I love them dearly, and I don't want to see them grow up being influenced by this type of stuff. Scott Nugent,
Amazing soul, just so you know.
you're right, schooled me in a good way um, in Jefferson City, which is the capital of Missouri. And he told me that there are 22,000 trans identifying kids in the state of Missouri.
22,000.
And so they were now, of course, they're not going to be able to, at least for the next 4 years. And I'll get into why it's just the next 4 years in a second. But at least for the next 4 years, they're not going to be able to get that gender affirming care. But he explained all the money that was to be made off of them just in the state of Missouri. And we were talking hundreds of billions of dollars.
Say that one more time for the kids in the back that aren't listening or refuse to hear it.
Yeah, just in the state of Missouri, off of these 22,000 kids, the pharmaceutical medical industry is looking at making hundreds of billions of dollars. And that's just in the state of Missouri.
Now, do you guys
my
see?
state.
Do you see why they're pushing gender affirming care so much? God bless America. This flying ant he wants to be a part of the show. And I thought I killed him before, but I guess I didn't. Well, I'll capture him.
That's what Scott, and he showed me all the information on this. And it was just amazing to me. I wasn't aware of this. This was a few months ago. It was like back in March or something when Scott told me all this stuff. We were in person in Jefferson City. And yeah, he told me all this stuff. In fact, that's where we actually first met. But yeah, it's obvious that the reason that the American Medical Association, the American Academy of Pediatrics, and that sort of thing, of course, they're all in favor of this stuff because it's a big money making thing for them.
Hell yeah, it is. Hundreds of billions in just one state. There are 49 others. Guys, this is a lot of money that's why they're pushing this agenda. This is so sad.
Yeah, and in the state of Missouri, so as I alluded to before, I said we're cool for the next 4 years. The reason I say that is because unfortunately the law that we passed in the state of Missouri, sunsets in 4 years. And so we definitely have a lot of work to do in the state of Missouri. We need to ban drag shows for kids. We need to, try to clamp down on the stuff that is available in school libraries for kids. I'm one of those evil book banners, I guess.
Me too.
Yeah. And we need to clamp down on that stuff. But the other thing is, what's most important, at least in my opinion, is we need to come up with something permanent to make sure that kids are not able to be exposed to so-called gender affirming care in the state of Missouri beyond these 4 years. So we have a legislative session coming up in September. I think the drag thing is probably going to be one of the main focuses for me. We do have some time to wait on the gender affirming care thing, but it's definitely something that needs to be taken care of in the state of Missouri and every state across the country. I mean, it really needs to be taken care of in every state across the country. So
Ohio just banned it. Ohio banned male students from competing against female students. They also banned male students from entering our bathrooms. They also banned gender affirming care for minors, and I believe drag shows for minors as well. And the left called my governor a Nazi and all kinds of fascists and all this, that, and the other. This doesn't apply to adults. So why are you saying that he's a fascist when he is protecting children? I don't understand it. Again, these people, they want to give us the bigot, the fascist, the Nazi label. I spent time with you, Chris. I was telling everybody before I started this stream, I was on another one that we had. This is why I chose to bring Chris on. He's not just the co-executive director of Gays Against Groomers, but he is also a stellar human being. Now, Chris and the people from GAG had a Airbnb, and I had a place to stay with them, and I was like, I don't want to infringe, so I got a hotel, right? And it had a pool, it had a hot tub, and I figured, all right, I'm gonna stay there just the last day, right? And if you guys want to come to the suite, because I got a big suite, and I was like, you guys can go come swimming and hang out there. And it was just ended up being just Chris and Rocky, and I was like, why don't we just go to the hotel just for this last night that we're here, so we can have a hot tub, right? We all need to relax after this month or after this weekend, right? And so we the day that we were going to head out to the St. Louis wheel, and people were all over the place. The valet drivers were outside of the embassy, and we're walking to Rocky's car, and there is a gentleman, and there was a wheelchair. We saw a wheelchair, and then we saw legs, and this guy was stuck in the corner like this, barely breathing. And the only people that stopped to help this man were us.
Yeah.
And so you called 911, and I ran to get him water, because it was again in the high 90s in the Midwest. There was a huge heat wave. This guy was wearing jeans. He had a big fluffy beard, and he was a veteran, we come to find out. And the only people that stopped to help him were us.
You're
And
going to make me cry again, Jen, because that was such an emotional experience for me.
it really was. It was absolutely just, and we looked at each other after this, like all of us, and we're just like, did this really just happen? And so Chris and I both, Rocky was heading over to the car, right? We're getting ready, because it was very overwhelming for all of us. We learned that this man was a veteran, and we're like, how the hell could they be so focused and worried about transitioning children and ruining their lives and giving all of this money to people that aren't even supposed to be here in the first place, and saying F you to the veterans? So we both locked eyes, and then me and Chris just both started crying, and then we just hugged each other, because it was like the only thing that we could do. It was so messed up.
Yeah. Yeah, that was after the experience that we had from that weekend. That was like such a poignant moment. And of course I'm tearing up again just thinking about it. It's so interesting that these people on the left, or the progressives, or whatever they want to call themselves, are so interested in going after our kids, but they're so willing to evidently throw away these other members of our society. And it's disgusting. It's sick.
Yeah.
And I used to be a member of the left myself.
Same.
Yeah. I mean, I was a card carrying member of the Democratic Socialists of America. And the more I learned about things, I was just ignorant. It sounded good on the surface. It's like, oh, let's take care of people. Well,
Yeah.
that's not what they're interested in doing. They're interested in only taking care of the people that they're interested in. They're really not concerned about all of humanity.
No, it's a
They're
front.
not concerned about kids or anything like that. The thing is someone like you, Jen, someone like me, we're concerned about all of humanity. And that's the thing that these evil people do not agree with us on. And I'm sorry to be, I guess, so harsh on them and call them evil, but that's what they are ultimately.
Facts.
And it's absolutely disgusting. And the way they act, the way they throw away veterans. I mean, we saw people walk past that man.
Yep.
And no one seemed to care. No one seemed to care except for us. And I'm the evil Nazi and fascist.
Same, right?
Yeah, but I cared about this human being. You know, God.
If that's why I wanted to share this story with everybody, because the humanity has taken a back seat, and they only care and they're only tolerant if you agree with them. If you don't agree with them, you are the fascist, the bigot, the Nazis. Chris is a gay Jewish man. He's been called a white supremacist, a fascist, and a Nazi. And you're definitely, just faking. Your whole marriage to Nathan is just a sham, because you've went out and actually married some man how long ago, right? And you were with him for 12 years, right?
Right.
And so for 12 long years, y'all been faking this.
Yeah, evidently. Yeah, my husband would be interested to know that I've been faking this.
Yeah.
I will say, I definitely, not Gays Against Groomers, definitely got some traction as far as like doing this Pride event. Some of the stuff that I did also just the previous few days before that in Rolla, Missouri, which is about an hour outside of St. Louis. So the people, the woke progressives in my community, in the Kansas City area, and I have done some stuff in the Kansas City area. It just hasn't been quite as high profile, but they figured out where I live. And so they are starting to try to come after me, because I want to try to get an all ages drag show shut down that goes on a monthly basis here in the city that I live in. And I'm just not going to say the exact city that I live in right now.
No, don't do that. Yeah.
Yeah. But they're trying to come after me. They're going after city council members, that sort of thing. Because
that's fascism. That is fascism.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yeah. But I'm the fascist.
No,
And
no.
they are telling city council members not to work with me because I'm a far right extremist. I'm actually a moderate Republican.
Right. Right.
But who actually used to be a member of the Democratic Socialists of America, so I mean, I've experienced it both ways.
Right.
So, fascist doesn't seem to really suit me.
Fascists don't stop and pick up a veteran who falls out of their wheelchair with heat stroke. Fascists don't do that. Sorry, fascists don't fight for children. You know what I mean? And I'm so sick of them projecting. That is all what they do, is project, and to terrorize you in your home. I know you guys will be smart and protect yourselves as best as you can, but you are not going anywhere. They better get used to seeing your face. They better get used to seeing my face, because I will not stop until the shit is an go. Oh, adults, you're free to do as you will, as you may. Leave kids alone, and we'll get along just fine. And I think people seemingly neglect to let that sink in. No, because we want to indoctrinate kids. Why don't they just come out and say it? No, because we want to groom these kids. We want more people on our side to vote for these crazy laws, because we are getting kickbacks from the medical community. Why don't they just be freaking real about it, Chris?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's just it. I mean, like I said, it's like, it's like these people are coming after me personally, and the reason is people like me, people like you, people like Rocky, who was just on their show. I mean, we're going after their moneymaker, and we're going after their line of succession, so to speak, because what they're looking for is
their legacy, right?
Yeah, they're looking for new members to carry on their message, and it's sick. It's sick. This stuff needs to be absolutely stopped.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I could go on all day about this stuff, but you know, the thing is these are sick individuals who are targeting our kids, who are targeting innocent people too. I mean, it goes back to the thing about like even Scott Nugent. I mean, Scott can speak for himself, but I mean, the thing is it was a therapist who convinced him that he was trans.
Yeah. The first meeting.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Scott has been through the ringer, you know, and I do not wish that on anybody. And you know, it's almost as if they are afraid of you. They're afraid of Scott to speak out and tell the truth. They are afraid of that. They're
Yeah,
so afraid.
Yeah, they're afraid of it because you got someone like Scott or Blair White or Buck Angel who are coming from the trans community, and of course they're supposed to all be on the same page. They're not. They understand what they are. They understand that they're actually men or women, and they are absolutely opposed to the stuff for kids. Then you've got someone like me or Rocky or Jamie Michelle, the founder of Gays Against Groomers. We're absolutely against this, but you know, we're gay people, and God forbid gay people speak out against this sort of stuff. So, I mean, we're seen as traitors to the cause, or at least that's how we're painted by these people. We're painted as traitors.
No, they're saying they're lying. They're coming out and slandering you and saying that you're not gay. They're saying you are a white supremacist. They're saying all of this bullshit. It's not true. It makes me so mad, Chris, because I spent time with you guys. I get to know the human beings that you are. And how dare you discount somebody? How dare you? You're all about your sexuality, but when it comes to somebody else, no, unless you think like we do, we don't accept you for shit. It's wrong, man.
No, and they don't. Well, and of course, there is the. I'm not sure if you have the video of it, but there's the. Yeah, that's all the tolerant left is like, Jen. If you don't agree with him, yeah, you're nothing to them. Yes,
Exactly.
It's so true.
What video?
But yeah, the funny thing is like at the Pride protest, the tolerant left kept saying that we weren't actually gay, and then we had this wonderful gay man, his name is Jason, go out and like do the splits, and he was like super fabulous and
some drag race.
Oh yeah, no, he was great. Oh my god, I really want him to be a member of my chapter here in Missouri. He was great, and then we had Jamie, Michelle, and Sasha.
Love them.
Yeah, go up in front of them, and they like made out in front of them just to kind of like prove
I miss
we are actual gay people.
Well, it's sad because it's like you're saying that love is love, but you're not. You're saying that Chris and Nathan isn't love, that's fake. You're saying that Jamie and Sasha, that's not love, that's fake. How dare you? How dare you say love is love, but only if you agree with us?
Yeah. Right.
I don't understand it. It's like, dude, their only sole mission is to protect children. That is it. And to break away from that LGBTQIA plus minus, whatever the case may be. They're even including asexuals in this. It's like they don't even want to have sex. You're celibate, motherfucker. So why are you even looped into this? You don't want sex from a man. You don't want sex from a woman. So how are you going to get out of here? And then who wants to be included in the LGBTQIA plus maps? Minor attracted persons.
Right. And you know, I mean, ultimately I do think that is part of the goal, especially for the queer and gender theorists that actually truly buy into it. Now, I'd say the average person that supports this crap probably doesn't know that, doesn't understand that. So I will give them a little bit of a pass on that sort of thing because they don't get it. But
Mhm.
yeah, I think some of that is the ultimate goal because I mean, if a child can consent to changing their gender, then why can't a child consent to sex? And,
Exactly.
and I think that's ultimately what they're going for. I mean, these are sick individuals that we're dealing with here.
Yeah. Very sick. Scott Wiener of California lowered the age of consent of sodomy and will not be putting people on the sex offender registry if there is less than a 10-year age difference. So you mean to tell me you could be 21 and sleep with a 12-year-old and you're just fine?
Well,
Long as you're long as you're gay, long as you're gay.
well, it kind of reminds me of people in the Trevor Project. They've got some interesting chat groups going on. I mean, on the surface, it sounds like a great idea, a suicide hotline for, gay, lesbian kids, whatever. I mean, I was there. I mean, when you're gay and you're young, you're 12, 13, whatever the case may be, and you realize what you are, you're afraid of losing your parents, you're afraid of losing your friends, you're afraid of how you're going to fit into society. um, I was there. I understand it. I mean, thankfully, I wasn't suicidal about it, but there are a lot.
Yeah.
There are a lot of kids who do feel that way. So on
Well,
the
no,
surface,
it's the Christian right-wing conservatives that are to blame for that, not internal body dysmorphia or internal struggles. It's the Christian conservatives' fault.
well, yeah, and that's just it. It's not necessarily that. I mean, it's just that you're just afraid, because you understand that you're different, and that's the thing. And in my own personal situation, I'll get back to the Trevor Project here in a second. But in my own personal situation, I prayed on multiple times a day for God to take away my feelings that I had for other boys at that time. I mean, I was like 12 years old. And, it just didn't happen.
Right.
And it never went away. And, it was definitely a very stressful period in my life to go through in order to navigate that. Thankfully, things worked out, that sort of thing. So, like I said, back to the Trevor Project.
I'm
On the
proud of you. I'm proud of you. I am.
Thank you. But, on the surface, it sounds like a great idea because, gay people do need someone sometimes to reach out to who may not be their parents, just because they're afraid of saying something to their parents. And so they do need some trusted adults. And I totally get that. But unfortunately, the Trevor Project has totally broken that contract of trust because they have chat rooms that are set up for 12 to I think it's 24-year-olds. And you know so yeah, they do this great work with a suicide hotline. Fine with that, that's cool. But then you go to their chat rooms and you've got adults sitting there talking to kids about minor attracted people, trying to encourage these young gay kids to become um, trans and that sort of thing. And I just want to hold this up.
Oh, wow. Trevor Space, a pedo paradise. Is that
Yeah.
a newsletter that you get from GAG?
Uh huh.
Is that on your website?
It might be under the blog section of our website. Yeah. So there's some interesting stuff there. So yeah,
Fire.
so there's Trevor Project, and then they have I think they call the online portion where kids can go on to and talk. I think they call it Trevor Space. And
Here, help me find it. Help me find it here so I can tell people where to look. Oh, isn't this funny? Like this guy here was convicted of rape, and then he said that I'm transgender. Does he look transgender to you? Does
no,
he? No, he was convicted of rape, and they put him in a women's prison.
yeah, great idea.
Gays Against Groomers demands Mr. Beast remove Chris Tyson. Rainbow Rebellion, transgender Bill of Rights, gay erasure and the end of childhood innocence. Deranged trans extremist attacks Nashville school. We forgot about the Tranifesto that we never got to see.
Oh, right. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, here's Mickey. Now, Mickey is the Tennessee leader. I like
That's correct.
Mickey. Mickey's a sweetheart. Why I joined Gays Against Groomers, Meg and Jen. Washington. It's not in the blog section, but I love this website because there's so much good things to read.
Yeah,
Oh,
our resources section too has a lot of really good stuff for people. So maybe the thing about the Trevor Space chat groups isn't on there, but definitely,
newspaper.
definitely so I was holding up the previous Gays Against Groomers times. That is the most recent one. So
Okay.
but yeah, I've definitely told a lot of people about that. I'm working with Moms for Liberty, actually, in this case, in Kansas. But we want to also branch out to Missouri and handle things there, dealing with the fact that school districts will promote the Trevor Project to kids.
Mhm.
So we have actual school districts on their websites,
Promoting Trevor Project.
counselors, yes, promoting Trevor Project. Like I said, on the surface, it sounds good. And there's probably a lot of people who just don't understand that then once these kids get involved in this, they're going to be exposed to Trevor Space, which is where the pedos and the trans ideologues and all that type of stuff come into play.
Mm. My. That is
And really, when it gets down to it, gay youth are the ones primarily targeted by this stuff.
well,
I mean,
yeah. That's sad though. It's sad because, like, how could you, you don't want to, talk to children. I get it that this is okay. Bottom line is that just like the trans ideology, the transgender movement with these men who are rapists and say, I'm a trans woman, and they don't even look like a woman. They're like a man, did nothing, and they're using this as an umbrella to commit more crimes or to get into women's prison. Uh, it's People are going to capitalize. Criminals are going to capitalize, and a pedo is going to do anything and everything that they can to gain more victims and get there easily and use that trans umbrella as an opportunity. They're opportunists, and it's a scary world. And again, this is what you guys do. You expose all of this, and they hate you for it.
oh yeah, they do.
Oh my
So,
god.
kind of hearkening back to the situation that I was talking about in my hometown. So, so I was being told by city council members and stuff like that um, don't work with this guy. He's a far right extremist, that sort of thing. They evidently threatened to sue the city if they worked with me and that sort of thing. So we're kind of trying to let things die down a little bit, and then we're going to go after them. What I'm doing in response to their intimidation tactics is I'm going to hold a fundraiser for Gays Against Groomers, and I'm going to do it in the city of. I guess I'll give away my location.
No. Don't do that. Don't do that, Chris. If you want me to, damn, I don't want
I
to keep
know
you
it's kind of
safe.
hard. It's kind of hard. Well, I'm going to hold a fundraiser. I'll just put it this way. I'm going to hold a fundraiser for Gays Against Groomers. and I'm going to make it also an opportunity for like-minded people in the KC metro area. Let's put it that way.
There we go.
I know. I almost slipped up.
I just don't want you to get hurt, bud.
I know. So we'll do it in the KC metro area. I want to hold a fundraiser, but it's also going to be a good networking event for like-minded people to get together to go up against this stuff. Because there are a lot of different groups, like I said, Moms for Liberty, Dad and Mom Army, Gays Against Groomers, and we also have some organizations called We the People and that sort of thing in the KC area. And so we need to all kind of come together and fight together. So that's also my other purpose behind putting together this fundraiser is also that sort of thing. So I'll let you know when exactly it's going to be.
I'll chip in for it. I definitely will chip in for it. We are this is who we're battling up against, right? We're battling up against people like this character here. All for gender affirming care for minors, all for trans kids. Like this character here has not had his member, his Johnson, transformed himself, not on hormones, nothing of the sort, just a man with a fetish, I believe, on agonophilia. I believe this is what and it has severe identity issues himself, because now he's claiming he's a lesbian. Dylan Mulvaney. We have, but these trans influencers are okay. They'll have millions of followers and all kinds of deals and sponsorship deals. But the trans who speak out against this agenda, like Scott Nugent, Blair White, Buck Angel, all of the detransitioners are and any trans that is realistic and says, no matter what I will do to myself, I am never going to be the opposite sex because I cannot change my gender. They are met with opposition and hate.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
What the hell?
Well, and within Gays Against Groomers, we have some wonderful trans members as well. Sarah Higdon is one. Matt Ray is another wonderful trans person.
Matt's got a good story. Yeah, I want to hear Matt's story.
Yeah, Matt's a good person. I've become pretty good friends with him, even though it's like long distance and over the internet. But he's a wonderful human being, and he works with Gays Against Groomers as our Arizona chapter lead. And
it's with Robert. I talked to Robert Wallace, and he briefly told me about Matt's detransitioning story and all that, But this character here, Silly Dilly, is what I call him because we can't speak out against Silly Dilly. We can't say we can't tag videos with his name in it. We can't. And this is the same person that says, if you don't call me by the pronouns I prefer, you should be in jail.
Right. Yeah, and what's weird about that too that I don't understand is this is someone who is obviously a gay man and now he's supposedly a lesbian and interested in women. So
yeah, so who's really who's really lying, right?
Right. And I mean, my guess is if he truly is interested in women, then he's bisexual. But honestly, I'm not sure that I really buy any of that.
I don't buy a day. I don't. When his mouth is moving, he is lying. He is a pure and utter narcissist. He is the poster child for narcissism. He can do, and if you say anything against him, you should be in jail. You should die. You should I can't. I hate dealing with narcissists. I think they are the most despicable, low of the low forms of humans that we have. And it's so sad that, again, this type of person can get praised, and even the media. Look, I corrected corrected this media, and I don't give a shit what backlash comes my way either. I corrected this media. Let's see. How do I get this fool off my screen? Right here. Yeah, see. CVT News says transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney says Bud Light didn't support her during backlash. And my response was he didn't support he. That is not a she. Stop calling him a woman. I can't do it, man. I can't do it. I can't do it, Chris. I cannot call this reprobate a woman. You're not. You were born a man. Stop being like this.
The funny thing is when it comes to the whole pronouns thing and stuff, I get you, Jen. I'm kind of the same way. I'll just put this out there. The they, them thing, F that. I'm not even playing into that whatsoever. That's a stupid construct of modernity. It's not anything that's real. So
I go like this. I say, how much have you had to drink? Are you seeing double? Because I'm not. I see one of you.
Right. Right. Exactly. It's like you're not a plural.
Right. You're not a twin. Are you a twin?
When it comes to people like Scott and Blair and Buck and even Caitlyn Jenner, it's like I mean, Caitlyn has some problems, but I mean, generally speaking, I think that she is kind of on our side.
But you accepted that Woman of the Year award.
Okay, I know something that you don't know, but I probably can't say anything about it.
Well, you can text me.
I'll
text me.
I'll text. I'll text you on that.
Okay,
so
good.
You're right about that, but I mean, at least she says some good stuff about these. Types of issues.
I agree. Imagine growing up in that household with the Kardashians.
Right.
I was like, oh, Bruce is gay. Bruce. Okay, I understand. Go Bruce. Yes. I would be too.
But I mean, not to take the attention off of the ultimate point is that there are certain trans people that they understand what they actually are and that sort of thing. And they're decent people who agree with you and I on these issues. I have no problem using the pronouns that they need to go by. I mean, looking at someone like Scott,
I would not he.
Yeah, I would never, I mean, even though he doesn't actually mind being called Kelly, he doesn't mind being called a woman or anything like that. I would never do that. And the reason is because, it's like, I'm not going to rub salt into the wounds.
Did you see this? Hi, Jen and everyone. Unfortunately, you can't take that stance in Michigan. Now do it to a new law about misgendering, high fines and penalties.
Doesn't surprise me.
Nah, wretched Gretchen needs to go.
Yeah.
I'm not going to deliberately, like, if somebody's like, please call me she, I'm not going to deliberately be like he, unless you're like Dylan Mulvaney and literally mocking women and children and day 33 as a woman and I'm officially a bimbo.
Right. Exactly. I mean, that's the type of stuff that I'm talking about. It's like someone like Scott Nugent, someone like Buck Angel, someone like Blair White, who is actually on our side. Of course, I'm going to go ahead and call them by what they present as,
Exactly.
They present as a man, they present as a woman, whatever the case may be. Of course I will. But someone like Dylan Mulvaney, can I say the F word? Because I really need to say it.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Dylan Mulvaney needs to get fucked. He can go fuck himself.
With a cactus.
With
a cactus. Yes.
Yeah, and I have no problem saying that.
Me neither, because you're making everybody in this community afraid to speak out. If it's the lesbian, gay, straight, whatever, you're making society curb and baby you and cuddle you, and a narcissist, a pure narcissist, this is what they do. If don't you dare call me out on my shitty behaviors, because if you do, I'm going to ruin you. It's like, bruh, we saw we you're a gay man, dude. We know you're a gay man. We saw you in the Book of Mormon. We saw you on Broadway. We saw you on The fucking Price is Right. You are a gay man, and there is nothing wrong with that. You want to you want to dress up like a woman, okay, fine. But don't push that to kids and be like, I am donating my money to the Trevor Project only after other trans people on TikTok called you out because you're making all of this money and you refuse to help anybody else. He refused to help anybody else. And then, oh, this is my 1 year as a woman celebration, and I am going to react to all of these right-wing conservative Nazis, fascists, and then I'm going to donate to the Trevor Project. But I think that he's well aware that the Trevor Project does have those little chat rooms with the adults and the minors. And yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but if I was Dylan, I would be, nope, I don't want anything to do with the Trevor Project because they are promoting this onto kids, but he does the same fucking thing. So whatever,
Right.
he's,
Yeah. No, I mean, he's a disgusting person. And yeah.
yeah,
I
Jeffrey Marsh is another one. I can't
Oh
stand
God,
Jeffrey Marsh.
Jeffrey Marsh.
Hi.
Gee, he may be actually worse than yeah.
Hi, kids.
He might actually be worse than Dylan, really, when it gets down to it. But of course, there is that video of both of them actually getting together.
Did you see how creeped out Dylan was? Like, he's like smelling his finger. Hi, we're friends for life. It puts the lotion on its skin or it gets the hose again. Complete
my
dude
God.
has a skin suit. That dude has a skin suit in his basement and a well and a poodle. I know it. I know it.
I am sure. Oh my God, Jen. I mean, it was kind of cathartic for me just now to say the F word about Mulvaney.
You did not want to put those two words in succession ever. Like homeless veteran, that doesn't belong together. And the F word with Dylan Mulvaney, yikes. Nathan might, Nate, you might have some explaining to do when you get home.
Well, just telling him to F off. I mean, I guess that was the whole thing. That made me.
Did that feel good?
That made me feel kind of good because I like the idea of saying that very publicly.
Yeah.
Dylan Mulvaney can F off.
See this
sure.
cactus? Stick this cactus in there. He's gonna next come out and identify as a dog, and everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, did you hear that a dog got canceled? They canceled a dog because of Pride Week or Pride Month." Yeah, dog gets canceled because of Pride.
Oh, this is new.
Yeah, dog gets canceled due to Pride. I spelled
Dog
it
gets
wrong.
canceled due to Pride. Did the dog wear like I don't know the thin blue line or whatever it's called for police?
I don't know. But let me see. Dog gets canceled. Dog gets canceled.
By the way, I do want to give out hopefully someone from St. Louis is watching this. While you're looking that up, I do want to give out a shout out to the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department. You guys were absolutely amazing helping us with the protest. They went undercover and surrounded us. They had patrol cars around us. I think that, I mean, we had our own security and they were kind of, but St. Louis Metropolitan Police was absolutely amazing. And I definitely want to give a shout out to you guys because thank you for making us feel safe, for making us feel welcome, and for working with us. I cannot say enough good things about St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department.
That's right. What a great shout out that was. I heard all about it. Even they were letting you know, hey, this person's coming close. Are you okay with that? And it was very nice that you guys were protected. And a lot of people on the left, oh, the police are just fascist, racist, homophobic bastards. All cops are bastards. No, they're not. No, they're not.
No, Lord,
Good.
no. No, I mean, I mean, they made it very clear that they couldn't take sides or anything like that, and they were great about that, and I understood they couldn't take sides. They weren't necessarily on my side,
Yeah.
but they made sure that we were safe. They made sure the other side was safe, and the other side, evidently, all the trans rights activists, according to at least what I know, never reached out to them, but I did,
Right.
because it's like, I want to work with the police and make sure that I'm doing everything by the book and that sort of thing. And those other people, I guess, because of their hatred for the police, had no interest in talking to them. But
Of course not.
you know what? My dad was a police officer. I love the police, and there we go. That's
Good.
where I am.
Good. Yeah, I found it's the first dog in history to be canceled because of pride. Uh Pup Rescue Pup Faces Pride Month. I told y'all the dogs and the cats were going to be targets next. Like they're going to say my cat identifies as a dog. Pierce Morgan came up. There's a stupid ad. Now, how the hell do I get rid of this ad in the first place? But I don't know how to do it. But here, let's bring this up and watch this. We'll read it first and then we'll listen to Pierce Morgan. Author Jonathan Miller explains the story how his rescue puppy Bella became the first dog in history to be canceled as companies mark Pride Month in June. Mr. Miller said he received an email from GPS tracker Tractive suggesting he buy a rainbow flag cover for his furry friend's device cover. I rather grumpily wrote to Tractive in Austria, and I said, "Why don't you just concentrate on tracking dogs? Cease the virtue signaling." He told Sky News Australia host Piers Morgan. I got a reply that says, "Thank you for your email. We've canceled your subscription to Tractive, so you can no longer track your dog." Mr. Miller added, "However, all's well that ends well," and the CEO company sent an email humbly apologizing to cancel the cancellation following a media backlash. Here it is.
Wow.
Old dog who was rescued.
Here.
Jonathan Miller. I bumped into Jonathan at Royal Ascot on Friday, and he mentioned that Bella's likely to have become the only dog in history to have been cancelled, and it's because of Pride Month. Well, I said to Jonathan, you better come on to Piers Morgan Uncensored and explain this extraordinary story. Well, Jonathan and Bella, welcome to Piers Morgan Uncensored. What happened?
Well, I was in London last week, as you know. We did have the pleasure of seeing each other. And we have a little flat in London. I live in France. And I was struck by the ubiquitous branding for Pride everywhere. I went to.
Remember how I was talking about that? They are literally capitalizing on gay pride, on gayness. This company 100% just proved that.
Oh, yeah.
Tesco, it was blazoned with Pride flags. Regent Street, Pride, the pub next door, Pride, everything was Pride. And I'm sorry, I'm a bit of a grumpy old guy, I guess, but it struck me as being slightly bizarre. Why is there such a thing as Pride Month? We give one day a year to veterans who died defending their country, a day to mothers, a day to fathers, maybe a couple of days to Jesus, but a month for Pride. Anyway, at this moment, I received an email from a company called Tractive in Austria, which makes a GPS tracker, which lets me keep an eye on Bella as she hunts in the vines every day for green lizards and wild boar and long-eared hares. And the email suggested that I should order a rainbow flag cover for Bella's GPS device so that she could show her pride in Pride Month. And I'm afraid I was triggered. And I rather grumpily wrote to Tractive in Austria, and I said, why don't you just concentrate on tracking dogs and cease the virtue signaling, which I thought was a fair enough point. And I got a reply that said, thank you for your email. It was a very passive aggressive reply. Thank you for your email. We've cancelled your subscription to Tractive, so you can no longer track your dog. So being the evil journalist that I am, I immediately thought, this is a good story. I wrote it for the Spectator, got a huge reaction, and you liked the story too.
And you've now had an apology from the CEO of Tractive.
Then this morning, the story continues. It's past Bella's bedtime. She's a little first live television show. I get an email from the chief executive officer of Tractive. Bella's going to jump down now, so you've seen all you're going to see of Bella. I get an email from the chief executive of Tractive apologizing, rather humbly, and saying that the person who cancelled me had no right to do so, and that they indeed do respect other points of view. He said that Tractive continues to support Pride, which I guess is their right. But all is well that ends well, and that Bella can continue her peregrinations in the vines without fear of becoming lost should she be distracted.
But it is an extraordinary situation, I think. I think you hit the nail on the head. It's not about...
All right, so basically, okay, so this guy, what he says is, I'm not going to order a Pride collar, a cover for the tracking device, because you're virtue signaling. Just track dogs and quit virtue signaling. Well, they canceled his subscription to track his dog, and then they suffer some media backlash, and then the CEO apologizes, which I that is going to make the left even more angry that the CEO wasn't woke enough, because those people are the give an inch, we take a mile, and then 10 more, and then 10 more. And if you do not keep affirming, or if you don't keep rolling with the wokeness, you are our mortal enemy. So I can't. What are your thoughts on this?
Oh my God, it's insane. I mean, but it feels like the type of crap that, I've been exposed to. I mean, I'm not a dog, obviously. Well, maybe I am.
Rehabbed dog. Rehab.
Well, just meaning
retired.
No, just meaning I'm not that great looking. But
no, you're awesome. You're a handsome guy. Come on.
But yeah, that's insane. Oh my God, to do that sort of thing just because you didn't want to buy a Pride tracker. Oh my God. And I do want to explain, by the way, well, let me say, just finish up real quick before I get ahead of myself. That's ridiculous. I mean, that whole thing is like absolutely ridiculous. But I do want to explain my pride flag behind me.
Yeah, somebody had mentioned that you had the old, but this is not an old school pride flag. This is the gag pride flag. Show it off.
Yeah, I'll get out of the way for a second. So this is the Gays Against Groomers pride flag. You'll notice that we took out all the BS, the pink, white, blue, black, brown, the little circle that came in for, I guess, intersex people.
Oh yeah. No, and they had the BLM. Like some people had the BLM mixed with the brand new ply. They're just marketing. They're making so much money off of this shit. It's not even funny.
Right. So this is the pride flag that I like. I used to actually never give one damn about the pride flag. It wasn't something that really mattered to me because as a gay person, I just wanted to live my life. I didn't want to wear it as like some sort of advertisement of who I am. because it didn't matter. I mean, straight people don't do that. So why do gay people feel, compelled to do that sort of thing? And but as things have gone on, and we're facing this weirdness that is going on, this is a pride flag that I can support.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think, you know, when we started seeing schools stop saying the Pledge of Allegiance, taking down American flags and putting up pride flags in their schools, and people had no idea how this came about. And then the lid came off. And in true, like, history of the world fashion, the truth will always come to light. It will always come out in the wash. My English friends would say, well, because of these woke social credit score companies are pushing funding to schools, to these companies. You have to go woke, or else, well, we will make sure you don't get the funding. We will have people protesting you. We will cancel you. We will have people, investors, turn their backs on you, and we will ruin you if you do not push gender ideology, if you do not push trans ideology, if you don't push these woke ideologies, Black Lives Matter, all of this, that, and the other. And it's like, just like this company, they canceled the dog, they canceled Aunt Jemima, they canceled the land of lakes, they cancel all of this. And who is behind it? The money. Follow the money. George Soros, all of these wicked, evil elitists, BlackRock, Vanguard, all of these people are funding this. They are funding the schools, the teachers union. This is why so many trans and gay activists are hired today. Not just gay activists, but the trans activists are the problem. The trans activists are, I don't care what you say as a parent, I'm going to teach your child the genderbread man in preschool. These preschool teachers saying, I don't align with the American flag. This is my flag that I am in alliance with, is the the trans flag. And it's like, well, that's fine if you want to be an activist on your own time when you're at home. But when you are a teacher, why aren't they able to leave the activisms at home? Because, like you said, I think they need to build an army.
Yeah, they do. And that is ultimately, I think, what it comes down to. They're looking to build an army, like you said, and that's why they're so relentless about this stuff. I had a
Mhm.
situation where I went and talked to a person locally, who is an assistant superintendent of a particular school district, and she's assistant superintendent of DEI. And
Oh, makes sense.
yeah, and anyway, I talked to her. We had a good conversation, and I certainly brought up things that, I was like, you do realize that you're making my community look really bad by allowing these books in schools that were wildly inappropriate. You're allowing the genderbread person being pushed in school, that type of stuff, and it never occurred to her. Never occurred to her that she was actually possibly doing some harm by doing this. And that's the thing that's so frustrating about these people,
Mhm.
is that they think they're doing something good. No, you're creating a backlash against people like me. Stop it.
Right. Here, we're gonna pull up the genderbread man real quick, Chris. Uh, this one here, share this tab instead. The genderbread person. At first, it was the genderbread man. Okay. Here is the genderbread person. This is the version 3. At first, it was the genderbread man, but now it's the genderbread person. So now it's identifying as a genderbread person. It's no longer the genderbread man. Now, this is what they were referring to as this is for preschoolers, okay? LGBTQI2S glossary of terms. Now, this is being taught again to kids in preschool. And this is exactly agender, asexual, androgynous, bisexual, cisgender, dyadic, queer gender, gay, gender fluid, intersex, heterosexual, two-spirit, lesbian, masculine, pansexual, demisexual, trans, feminine, questioning, or queer. This is the whole new LGBTQIS plus 2, LGBTQI2S is the new LGBT community, right? This is what they want all of you and all gays and lesbians and trans. This is what they want you in with. Do you have anything in common sexually speaking with a heterosexual, Chris?
Not really.
Right, right. So do you have anything in common with a female lesbian? Are you attracted to women? No.
No.
Are you feminine? No. Are you queer gender queer? Are you dyadic? A person whose chromosomal, hormonal, or anatomical sex characteristics fall within the convenience classifications of male or female. So you and I are a dyadic. We are not intersexed. We're not, questioning. You are not questioning. You know who you are. Demisexual is a person who experiences sexual attraction to someone only after having an emotional attraction to them. Why are you teaching this to kids? They say this is not marketing to kids.
Right.
It's a cartoon.
Right.
It's a cartoon.
Well, and I mean that has been my whole problem with the LGBTQIA plus whatever thing is that it's like actually the funny thing is, Jen, you asked if I had something in common with heterosexuals. Honestly, I probably have a lot more in common with heterosexuals than all those other letters. It's like I'm just looking to lead my life, fall in love with who I want to fall in love with, and that sort of thing. So in that respect, I actually do have a lot in common with heterosexuals, but all that other stuff, the trans, the asexual, the intersex, all of this type of stuff, it's like, no, I really don't see where there is any sort of commonality in that situation. So, we like to a lot of us who are critical of these things, like a lot of us that are critical of these things like to say that there's a forced teaming going on. We're being forced teamed with people who really have nothing to do with us, and so yeah, I mean honestly, I mean when it gets down to it, I mean I think that gay, bi, heterosexual people, we all need to bond together and stand up against this crap, because yeah, when I think about it, we actually do have something in common. This other crap, yeah, it has nothing to do with us whatsoever. So gay, lesbian, bisexual, heterosexual people, we need to come together. We need to fight together on these issues, because we actually do have something in common. We just want to lead normal lives. We don't want to make examples out of ourselves, and we don't want to do all these things that are harmful to kids and that sort of thing. So yeah,
Yeah.
we need to come together for sure.
Absolutely. I think that is a great message. I think that, if you guys, I pulled up the Gays Against Groomers website. I highly recommend you go check it out. There's all kinds of resources on there. There's blogs, there's the newspaper articles. There's a way to get a hold of them. You could start your own chapter. But yeah, this is why I love pushing this and I love talking about this, because not all gays, lesbians, and trans people think like they do. These radicalized leftists do. They woke. We have to push this onto children because we need more people on our side type shit, and we're going to go after the most impressionable, the most innocent, the weakest, and it's a predatory thing, and I don't. That's what irritates me the most about it, and I will forever voice my opinions on let adults do what they want to do, but the kids are off limits. And we have to align ourselves with Gays Against Groomers, with every person, whether if I don't care if you're one of those people like Chris said, and he made a really good point that there are gay people out there that he has spoken with, lesbian, trans, that are against this agenda but are too afraid to speak out. With numbers comes strength. And if you guys can, if you are if you fall into that bracket of I'm too afraid to stand up, there are people out there that will have your back, myself included. If you are too scared, please come to one of us. Please go to Gays Against Groomers. They will help you find that voice and not be afraid.
Yeah, absolutely. Gays Against Groomers has been amazing to me.
Yeah, this.
Yeah, I like that comment, and that's true. Gays Against Groomers has been amazing with me. They've offered so much support. Jamie and Sasha have been absolutely amazing, and I can't say enough good things about them. And you will find a community with us. If you don't mind, I'd like to plug my state chapter here.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys are on YouTube, because I think like they booted you guys.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah,
They banned you. And this person here asked the other day if I have problems with people, if a man dresses as a cross-dresser at home behind his own closed doors, how would I feel? And I'm like, I don't give a shit. I don't care if you want to do that in your own home.
Yeah,
Just
that's your own business.
yeah, if that
That's
makes
your
you
own
happy, okay. I just don't want kids to see it. I just don't want kids to witness anything and be confused and say, "Mommy, why is that man wearing fishnets?" Like,
Right,
I don't
right.
want to have to. That's your business. If that makes you happy, okay.
Exactly.
But go ahead and
So,
plug you away. What did you want? Which link do you want me to share, or what do you
oh
want?
yeah, okay. So it would be gaysagainstgroomers.com/Missouri.
Okay, 1 second. Let me edit this out. gaysagainstgroomers.com/Missouri.
Yeah. So
There we are.
perfect. So I would like people who live in Missouri to go there and be sure to sign up for our state chapter. We're a small state chapter right now. It's amazing the support that we've gotten from the organization, from people like you, Jen. Because I mean, really, it's small. But we have done a lot of stuff, and even with our small numbers, but we definitely need more. It's hard for me to be at everything that happens in the state of Missouri, so I definitely need more people who are willing to go to city council meetings, school board meetings, county council meetings, whatever the case may be, state legislature, all of that type of stuff. I need you guys. We need you guys. Gays Against Groomers needs you. And if you aren't in the state of Missouri, please go to gaysagainstgroomers.com and sign up for your local chapter. Now, I will say, as far as leadership is concerned, we do ask that you be LGBT or T, because, like it was said before, we're accused of not actually being gay people. So we do try to keep that authenticity to who we are. We are gays against groomers. We are not straight people. So we do ask for that. And we are coming up, trying to come up with a way for us to work with our straight allies after Pride Month is done, which thank God today is the last day of that. So we are looking at a way for our straight allies to work with us, but yet keep our credibility as gays against groomers. So hopefully we'll have something soon. So even if you're a straight person, go ahead and apply. I'm keeping a record of everyone who does, and I will reach back out to you once we've made the decision of how we're going to handle that.
And I hope you guys understand that they have to maintain the integrity of this organization, because they are being lied again. They are being lied about and slandered and defamed and saying these are not real gay people. So please don't feel as if they're excluding you based off of your sexuality. This is an organization, gays who are against groomers. And once that happens and you guys start aligning yourselves with other people, other sexualities, other orientations, that will be announced on their website. Like, if you guys are gay, lesbian, or trans, please help Chris out in Missouri. He needs you. All of them need you guys. And I really would hope that you would do that for the kids. Please don't be afraid of the woke army. Believe me, these people have each other's backs. I saw that live in person. I wouldn't put my name anywhere near it or vouch for them if they were a group that was like, you guys are on your own. No. This is strength in numbers.
Right, absolutely. And I'm glad that you brought that up, Jen. We're not trying to be exclusionary or anything like that. Obviously, we have no problem with our straight friends or anything like that. It's just that optics wise, we have to, maintain a certain image, I guess you would say. And so because we are accused of not actually being real gay people and that sort of thing. So
does bi count? Remember, did you see what happened with who was bi in the video with Scott Nugent, and she was not included in the Pride event, wasn't allowed to go into the Pride event. So I think what GAG is looking for is real official gay, lesbian, trans right now, and they're going to be working with I'll talk to Jamie and Sasha as to how they're going to include bisexuals. But like he said, they have to maintain that integrity of the organization, gays against groomers,
Right. Well, and actually bisexual people are fine too.
Yeah.
I guess our main thing is that we just need to maintain a certain level of integrity, and we're trying to figure out best how to include everybody. And because there are definitely lots of people who aren't LGBT or T that want to help us out. And so we definitely need to figure out how best to incorporate them in, so that we can not play into the progressive woke side's narrative about us, but at the same time be as inclusive as possible and get as much help as possible. But that is where it comes back to the fact that I'm willing to work with anyone outside of Gays Against Groomers. So you don't necessarily have to be a Gays Against Groomers member to work with me. I'll work with you for sure.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I'll absolutely do that. I've got Moms for Liberty. I've got Mom and Dad Army. I've got other groups locally that I work with. So while it's nice if someone wants to become a member of Gays Against Groomers, as far as like if they're LGBT or T, you don't have to be. I'll still work with you. We can show a unified force.
Yeah, I think like this, I think coming from my perspective, I don't want the left or the radicals who are trying to shut you down or label you as fascist and all this, that, and the other to have any ammunition against you guys. I mean, you guys are free to work with whomever you want to, but if you are heterosexual, you could go to the link that I'm showing down below to help out Chris if you know anybody. Or this one here is that if you want to just donate, because they do have to pay for security, travel, to go to all of these events, all of these school board meetings, to protest, to stand up for children, and they need any help that they can get. And I donate to Gays Against Groomers. I think it's one of the best organizations that we have out there to protect children. And if you guys could go ahead and donate to them, I'd greatly appreciate it. Doesn't have to be much. If you can, whatever you guys can afford, that would be great. And Chris, again, need your help in Missouri. And Remy, update, Remy is on steroids twice a day, and he's on ear drops for his ear infection, but he's
Oh no.
I know my cat had to go to the vet yesterday, and he's the light of my life. That cat is one of the he's in tune with me, so he knows when I need him. If I'm sad, he comes running and he just plops right down, and just every time I'm sad, I wake up like he got me through so much in my life where I would wake up and I'm literally holding him like this in my arms, and he's just the best cat ever. So,
Aw.
I know he's so cute. All right, you guys, this is the amazing Chris Barrett, Missouri co-executive director, Gays Against Groomers. I really, really, really appreciate you coming on, Chris. And if you have anything else to say, you can go ahead and give us our outro out, and any other thing you want to plug, and we will continue this another time.
I'm sorry for the F-bomb, but
Why?
Dylan Mulvaney makes me really angry.
Me too. My God, you don't have to apologize for that because he deserves it. He really does.
Yeah.
He makes real trans people look bad, and I don't like that because I know real trans people that are absolutely stellar human beings and not grifters and not narcissists and not looking to make a buck. And they're not
Right.
actors. They really are dealing with being transgendered. And this asshat is just grifter's got a grift.
He's something else. Yeah. All I can say is go to gaysagainstgroomers.com/Missouri, like what's flashing down there. Join my chapter. We still have a lot to do in Missouri. I need your help. But Gays Against Groomers in general needs your help. So join our other chapters. And don't be afraid to sign up. Like I said, if you aren't LGBT or T, we are trying to figure out how to best work with those folks. So please, just everybody, go there, sign up. We need your help.
I thank you, Chris. Thank you so much for coming on and having such a blast. You guys, I'm so blessed to know Chris and get to know them on a personal level. And this is what I want to do, is bring you guys the human beings behind the organization. I get to have Jamie and Sasha come on. I'm really excited for them too. And I'm so grateful that you guys were willing to come on here and explain what you do and who you really are, not what the media is and the lamestream media and the left is saying that you are. So thank you, Chris. I'm going to do an outro here, and I'll remember, you got to text me that shit.
All right.
All right, Chris, stay in the back for a second. I'll be right back. Okay.
All right. Thanks, Jen.
You're welcome, love. All right, you guys, that was Chris Barrett, co-executive director of GAG Miss Missouri. I almost said Wisconsin. That's Rocky. Amazing organization, but even better people running the whole thing and doing everything that they can to protect kids. And I am so blessed. And if here's what I have to tell you guys. Look, not every gay lesbian, trans is for this agenda, and I am 100% going to back up somebody if they're fighting against this agenda that targets children. Now, adults, again, you're free to do with whatever you want to do with your body. You know, be you. I have no problem with that. The only problem that I and GAG has is targeting children, and I will forever stand up for rights of kids. All right, you all, make sure you go visit all of the links that we shared today. Make sure you visit Gays Against Groomers on Twitter, and make sure you're following them. Go to their website, donate if you can. I thank you guys for joining me and Chris. I will have him back. I'm sure he'll be glad to do that. He's very busy. He's meeting up with state representatives, school board meetings. He does it all. So make sure you guys are giving them all of the love that they deserve. I will not let the radical left ruin their names, because they are good people, and I will stand behind them, right next to them, without a doubt. All right, guys, take care. My name is Just Jen. Just Jen, not just Hen. Have a good day. Love y'all.